I wanted to give her sort of like this bow design, as well as like just have a sort of crop top thing, because I wanted to make it a bit more dynamic. So she has sort of like this cloth bow that's on her shoulder, and then some of the like fabric from the bow is trailing down to sort of make like this low hanging fabric on the side right here. And like white is meant to symbolize purity and almost this innocence, but also a spiritual power as well. And so her whole character is that she's actually meant to be purifying the land. So she is one of the gods who she spends, I want to say, 80 to almost 90% of her time like praying. So she'll be like praying, concentrating power, sort of purifying different bad or negative energies that are abound in her region and in her area. So that's why I almost went for this almost oracle design for her. And she's very graceful and elegant. And she's another character that is inspired by Louisiana Creoles. I do not make drawing clothes easy. What I do is I look at references and then I say, okay, now how do I bring these clothes like 30 or 40 years in the future? Literally the only reason why you think I'm so good is because I hate the word modernize, because modernize isn't the correct description I want to use. I innovate. That's the correct word. I innovate and stylize clothes. I say, okay, what is a person or group of people's cultural garb? And then I say, okay, now let's stylize this outfit so that people can wear it as everyday attire, and let's bring those clothes like 30, 40 years in the future. That is all I do. And then by, I guess you could say, the grace of God, it ends up looking somewhat good, somewhat decent, and then I make that into a character outfit. I guess you could say Ruby was another inspiration, because I did like how Monty Ohm, when he was making his characters and when he was designing his characters' outfits, his whole theme was giving people the option to, like, anyone could make a Ruby cosplay pretty cheap. Now, in the most recent seasons, that may be a bit different and that may be a bit harder to do, because they definitely went with a more. Hmm, it's hard to describe Ruby. It's like not necessarily cyberpunk, but they definitely went a bit more anime with their designs in more recent seasons. But no, like for these characters, the general rule of thumb, especially if eventually I get big enough to where people in fandom want to like make their own OCs or make their own characters, the general consensus for this is take cultural garb and modify it for everyday wear. Yes, adaptation is hard to do, but I mean, I am an artist. I'm not a textilist, okay? So I just do what pops into my mind, okay? I look at references, I literally go on Pinterest and I'm like, okay, show me a kimono, show me techwear, show me African garb. And then I'm like, okay, I look at it, I analyze it, and then I'm like, okay, now how would somebody retrofit these articles of clothing to where people can wear them every single day? And that's what I do. And usually it involves not necessarily downsizing, but some form of augmentation. Like, I do, in fact, use other artists for examples. Like typically what people do is they may shorten the length of something long. So like people turn kimonos into half kimonos and they are just like shirts or like really long shirts. Or what people do is for dresses, what they may do is something that may be a full dress, they turn into like a crop top and a long skirt. People who have like tabards or long slit shirts, they may cut it in half or like they may shorten the length and then raise up the slit on the side of the shirt. People who it's like different things you can do. Like there's definitely a way to augment attire. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it just comes a bit more naturally for me. I mean, I'm not trying to self-aggrandize myself or anything. Like I'm just a normal man trying to make a series and trying to make something that even if everyone doesn't love it, at the very least I bring enough honor and respect to different people while also what's the proper word? I try to give people their flowers. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say. I want to give people their flowers because every single group of people is valid. And we should all be able to appreciate each other for what we've developed and what each group has done. I'm getting very poetic, I know. But sometimes I just have to speak in a poem. Like, I speak in spirit, I don't speak in word, if that makes sense. And it's actually quite interesting because when it comes to this character, like she's wearing this crop top and skirt, but this jacket she wears is actually meant to be a jean jacket because I wanted her to have this sort of rustic aesthetic to her. And another one of her inspirations, like, while yes, she's inspired by hoodoo priestesses and just like women who wear like white clothes in general, as well as like, even though they're not hoodoo priestesses, like even in the American South, not the deep South but just the South in general, like a lot of black women, they wear white dresses as well. And it comes from like Creole women do it, like just Southern black women in general, like they wear white dresses when they go to church. And what are they called? Gullah Geechee people also wear white as well. So that's pretty much what I wanted to express, is that she's this very spiritual and beautifully spiritual woman. But I also wanted to give her a jean jacket to really just denote that sort of modern aspect of her. Like, she's the kind of girl who will go to a cafe when she has time, and she may like get a cup of coffee or just enjoy a day. Like, just enjoy a day in the street, or like a day in the city. And then she goes home and she does her work. Like, she's definitely for the more girly and even boho women. Like, that was another big aesthetic that I wanted to express in her design in particular. Is she's very she's pretty boho. She's a pretty boho esque natural character. And I also even took some inspiration from Aerith from Final Fantasy VII. That was another inspiration for her character. Like, Cetra, white materia, like that was another inspiration from that was another inspiration I drew from. I like the bow, but I also like the fact that it's a cloth bow because it gives this sort of, I guess you could call it rustic glitz, if that makes sense.